Hello, and happy Fossil Friday. My name's David. I'm a paleontologist at the Gray Fossil Site here in East Tennessee, and I was just looking at this cool rock. Every rock has a story and tells you something about the history of the place where it was found. This rock is a lava rock from New Mexico. It formed thousands of years ago when molten lava cooled into a solid state. It left this ropey texture on the outside, and on the inside you can see it's full of little pockets where gas bubbles got trapped inside the lava as it was cooling. But what I'd really like to find are fossils, and I'm probably not going to find very many in a lava rock. Any plants or animal remains that would be trapped in lava would get all burnt up and not fossilize. But here in Tennessee at the Gray Fossil Site, there is an area that preserves clay mud from an ancient pond. And a pond is a great place to be preserving fossils. This is the skull of an alligator that we found at the Gray Fossil Site. It's almost 5 million years old. Well, to be more specific, this is a replica of that skull. The skull is delicate and rare, so we gave it a nice home at the museum and molded and casted an exact replica so that I can use it for showing off to people like yourself. Fossils are the remains of ancient life. Like I said, this gator lived in that pond here in Tennessee almost 5 million years ago. We can identify fossils using their features, just like we do for living creatures. Here you can see the teeth in its mouth, the place where its eye once sat, and that cool bumpy texture on the outside. But fossils aren't just sitting underground doing nothing. They're changing in slight ways. The fossils at Gray have this dark brownish color to them, sort of how like the one we've painted this gator skull here. And that's because as they've been sitting underground, the minerals and chemicals in the sediment around them are reacting with the bone, slightly changing it, giving it a different color. Different fossils come from different places, different ancient habitats at different times, and they're changed in different ways. This is a fossil root, the root of an ancient tree. You find stuff like this in coal deposits, places where you find coal rocks, which are actually quite common in parts of Tennessee, Virginia, and lots of other places here in the eastern U.S. Coal forms in forests and swamps, so you get a lot of plant material like this. This plant and others in those coal beds are more than 300 million years old. And these are changed quite a bit. The minerals and chemicals around them in the sediment haven't just changed the color of this root, they've actually gone in and filled in a lot of the gaps. A lot of the original wood is replaced with mineral material. So while at the Gray Fossil Site, the things we're finding, plants and animals, are mostly still wood and bone with a different color, this is mostly mineral. It has been changed during the fossilization process. Now, if I want to find fossils nearby me, my best bet, the best rock to look in, is one of my favorite rocks, limestone. Rocks get their names sometimes from where they're formed. Sandstone forms from sand, and mudstone forms from mud. So where does limestone form? That's right, lime. Not like lime like the fruit like you might have in your kitchen. Lime mud is a type of mud that forms at the bottom of the shallow parts of the ocean. So limestone here in Tennessee, which is very common in this part of the country, comes from a time where this part of our continent was covered by a shallow ocean, almost 500 million years old. And if you look close in some pieces, you can find fossils of ocean creatures. Coral, ancient seashells like these. Sometimes you might even be able to find remains of animal groups that are totally extinct, like trilobites. This stuff is where we get a lot of the coolest fossils in our part of the country. Do you have limestone near your home? If you live here in East Tennessee, I bet you do. Sometimes you'll see it sticking out of the ground as big boulders, or on the side of the road where construction crews cut through the cliffs to make the road. Sometimes limestone is even used in buildings. On the college campus at ETSU, the front of the geology building, the front steps, are made of limestone, and they have fossils in them. You find little stems of ancient sea lilies and burrows left behind by animals moving through that ocean mud. We call burrows and things like that trace fossils. So the next time you're outside, keep an eye on the rocks. What kind of rocks are they? Do they have fossils in them? What do they tell you about what your part of the world used to be like long, long ago? Have fun searching.